Krishnan, your voice is not audible.
Sir, is it audible now, sir?
Yeah. Start.
Okay, sir. So, good morning to one and all. I am here to present a welcome speech for the Incubators and Accelerators webinar. So, a warm welcome to every one of you in this seminar. On behalf of our department, I am Anantha Krishnan from MBA IEBD program, first year. I am feeling extremely honored to be standing in front of you all, welcoming everyone in this webinar. So, now I would like to invite Ms. Ponnarasi to deliver the chief guest introduction.
I'm gonna say you're not audible.
Sorry, sir. Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful to invite Mr. M.Sriraaman for this webinar. He is a chemical engineering graduate from Annamalai University. He is currently building social ventures with support of BIRAC, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, a KIIT Business Incubator, which is in Pass Center, Bhubaneswar. His previous entrepreneurship development and incubation management experience at Annamalai Innovation and Incubation Research Foundation, EDDI, Annamalai University. He is also acting as a honorary state president and director of All India Startup and Entrepreneur Association. He is one of the connectors of Founders Layer PTE Limited, Singapore. He is present curator of US-based tech startup Digest community in northeastern Tamil Nadu region. He is also fostering innovation as a mentor of change for Atal Tinkering Lab at Indian Ministry of Planning Commission and Global Council of Promotion of International Trade in USA. His previous industrial experience at EID, Paris Sugar and Distillers Unit. He has also experience as principal investigator in funded project of Institution of Engineers India. He has published one book chapter and more than 15 research papers in the domain of food and environmental biotechnology. He has received Best Paper Award for one of his publications in 2019. He has worked in various research projects of Annamalai University, Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and Northeastern Institute of Science and Technology. He is active lifetime member of Science and Technical Research Association by the Startups Community, Annamalai Alumni Business Network, and Tamil Robotics Club. Thank you, sir.
Sir, we are very happy to have you, sir, Sriraman, sir. So thank you for accepting our invitation. Now I request you to take up the stage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the warm welcome. Let me share my screen from another.
Yes, sir.
Guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, fine. Thanks for the confirmation. Am I audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Actually, I'm sharing my screen from another ID. So you can pin that screen so that you may not miss my slides. So very good morning to one and all. Hope you all are from MBA Innovation and Partnership and Venture Development Program. So today the session is on accelerators and incubators for early stage entrepreneurs. Actually, the order has to be changed. First, we have to see about incubators, then only we can have a good clarity on accelerator. But anyway, the IAC calendar activity is like that. So today we will be seeing about both incubators and accelerators. So what are the scopes of today's sessions? In this session, we will be learning about who are the startup ecosystem enablers, basics of startups, entrepreneurship, and innovation and venture development, and how to set up a startup. So what are all the services provided by incubation centers and accelerators? So that is the core of today's session. And finally, funding schemes facilitated by incubation centers and accelerators. So this will be the agenda for today's session, and I hope you all are in innovation, entrepreneurship, and venture development program. So I think already you have chosen a right path, and now you guys are here to learn more about your venture development through the support of incubation centers and acceleration centers. And I hope your institution is also having an incubation center at the Pondicherry Engineering College Foundation. So you already have an in-house incubation center. So you guys have a good opportunity to expand your ventures. And I'm damn sure that as you all belong to MBA and particularly IEV branch, you guys should have some little knowledge on these terminologies. So let me not waste time on those things.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Sriraaman, sir,
Yes, sir.
just we have some more participants from BTech also. UG is also there, some of us.
Okay, okay, fine, sir.
Yes.
Can
And
I get
some
an overview? So how many students are from MBA IEV, sir?
MBIV, I think that's 30, 35 students, 40 students around from MBA.
Okay,
Yeah.
average count is enough. And some BTech?
Yeah. BTech it will be mixed, sir. BTech mostly it will be BTech students.
Okay, okay.
Mixed.
I think the students are joining now.
Yes,
Shall
sir.
I proceed further?
Yeah, please, sir, please, sir, you can continue.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Anyway, fine. I will also give some brief on these terminologies for BTech students also. In case if it is boring for MBA students, actually, I'm sorry, because I have to focus on all the audience. I will try to balance for both of you guys for MBA and BTech students. I will try my best to balance the things. And now it will be better if we start the session with a warm-up activity, I think. So already it's morning. I think you all are fresh. So we have started the session on time. So that's good. We all are very punctual. So first of all, hats off for all of us. And now we'll start the session with a short warm-up activity. In my slides, there are two terminologies. One is entrepreneurship and one is startup. Of course, for MBA guys, these terminologies are not a new thing. And of course, for BE and BTech graduates also, many IAS calendar activities are ongoing. I hope it will be not new to you. Thus, it will be better if you unmute yourself and share your views on these terminologies, so that I can get to know about your level of understanding, and I can take the session forward. So if you are already prominent with these terminologies, means I will not spend much time on those things. We can directly get into today's sessions, or else we have to look into some basic terminologies. Only if we are done with that, we can proceed further on acceleration and incubation centers, or else it will not be clear. So it will be better. Some of the BTech students are also here, I think. So it will be better if BTech students make an attempt to answer these questions, because already MBA students are very much prominent with these terminology. I want BTech students to unmute yourself and share your views. If not, MBA students can also do that. We can save time, right? Even your answer may be wrong, it's not a matter. I am here to streamline your answer. Come on, students, the time is running. I just want to know your level of understanding. That's why I'm asking. You don't need to be a master on these topics. I want to know whether you are a beginner or you are starting from scratch. That's why I want to hear from your mouth.
So someone has given in the chat window.
Okay, okay, fine.
Prem Kumar is given, through startups we become entrepreneurs.
Through startups we become entrepreneurs. It's okay, but still I want some crisp answer. Actually, I think Mr. Prem Kumar has made an attempt to answer this question. I don't know whether it's from BTech or BA, but anyway, hats off, Mr. Prem Kumar. At least you have made an attempt to answer. Your answer is, I will not say your answer is wrong, but still it will be better if someone gives a crisp, cut short definition. So now I can also access the chatbots. So if you guys are having some hesitation to share your views over the microphone, you can share your views through chatbots also. Come on, students, the time is running. And even I am okay with Tamil answers because Puducherry is in Tamil Nadu. I hope many of you may have hesitation to open your mouth with English. So I can also understand Tamil, not a matter for me. Tamil Nadu only. So you can also share your views on Tamil. I'm also okay with that. Okay, fine. At least MBA students, please make an attempt. Kumar sir, I think MBA first year and second year both students are there, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Then definitely second year MBA students should be aware of these technologies. I think by then. Come on, students, the time is running. Already it's
They have given in the chat window, sir. 2 students have given in the chat window.
okay. Creation of economic value. Very good. So Miss Nivedi has made an attempt. Almost the answer is right. And Mr. Surya, a startup is a company that's in initial stages. Very good, Surya, Mr. Very good, very good, very good, very good. I think you guys were from MBA. That's why your definition are much crisp and clear. So hats off to Mr. Surya and Ms. Nivedini. So as your friends told that, let's get into the definition first. Entrepreneurship or entrepreneur is a person who takes risk. So why he needs to take risk? He needs to take risk, that way a calculative risk to start his own venture with an innovative idea. So entrepreneurship is the word derived from Latin language, which means adventurous. So what basically these adventurers loves to do? All these adventurers loves to take risk, right? Unto the calculative risk. That's why entrepreneur is also a person who loves to take risk. And he is taking calculative risk for starting his own venture with an innovative idea. So this is entrepreneurship. And startup is an early stage company which is selling, as Mr. Surya told, a startup is the early stage company which is selling innovative product or maybe service. That service may be a digital service or a normal service. He will be a startup will be selling innovative product or service, and it's much dependent on human potential rather than capital or investment potential. So this is the definition for entrepreneurship and startup. So almost Mr. Surya's definition for startup is right. Startups are nothing but they are early stage companies. And as per the Ms. Nivedini's statements, entrepreneurship is towards the creation of a good economic value. What the impact the entrepreneurship is going to bring into our country. Ultimately, we are going to generate job opportunities, and through job opportunities, many will be earning money and they will pay taxes, and ultimately the aim is to promote the country's economic values. Of course, Ms. Nivedini's definition is also right. And as per the definition of Prem Kumar, first we have to focus on entrepreneurship, then only we can become a startup. So this is the definition for entrepreneurship and startup. Now let me throw some insights on the difference between entrepreneurship and startup. So there is a key difference between an entrepreneurship and startup. And what is that? Entrepreneurship is adding little innovation in a conventional business. So you can see in my slide that I have highlighted these technologies I have added. adding little innovation in the conventional business. This is entrepreneurship, and startup is making huge business out of a simple or little innovation which could create a big impact. So this is the key difference between entrepreneurship and startup. It will be better if I explain this with an case study, I think. So let's take an example of Tea Time. So Tea Time is not a new brand to all of you, I guess, because nowadays in all South Indian region we have this franchise of Desi Tea Time India Private Limited. So let's take the story of Tea Time as the case study for the difference between entrepreneurship and startup. Actually, in the beginning stage, Tea Time was an entrepreneurial venture, and now they are a startup. So let's see how they started and how they are running now. So initially they started selling authentic Assam tea recipe. So that is their innovation. That is a little innovation. They started selling authentic Assam tea recipe in a petty shop in an Andhra Pradesh, in a district called Rajamandri, that railway station. They were selling authentic Assam tea recipe with one outlet. With one outlet, they were selling this unique Assam tea recipe. So that was their uniqueness and novelty and selling point, whatever it may be. Basically, that is their innovation. So through that innovation, they started their entrepreneurship venture. So petty shop is a conventional business, and their Assam tea recipe is the uniqueness. They are infusing their infusion and they are infusing their innovation in a conventional business, so that they become an entrepreneur. This is an example for. Sorry, I heard some voice.
Cut பண்றே ஏறேவா
Students, please.
அண்ணா அப்படி
And
போட்டு
this
வந்தா
is
அப்படி என் செல்ல போட சொல்ல அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் அதுல விட்டு அதுல ஒன்னு போட்டு விட்டா
I think someone is okay, fine. This is the story of Tea Time. They started with an entrepreneurial venture and now they are a startup. How they become a startup? They scaled their recipe as a brand. So they scaled their innovation, that authentic Assam tea recipe, that innovative recipe, as a brand called Desi Tea Time India Private Limited in 5+ states. So currently they are now a startup. What they did, they made huge business through this Desi Tea Time India Private Limited brand by converting their entrepreneurial venture into a startup. So they basically converted their unique authentic recipe in 5+ states with various outlets. Now they are having around 600+ outlets in 5+ states of southern India. So this is a best example for entrepreneurship to startup conversion. Now I hope you guys are clear between the difference of entrepreneurship and startup. Am I right? Fine, let's proceed further. And I will also give some chance for stopping at some places so that you can stop me and clear your doubts. So now we are directly entering into the session. There are two terminologies. One is accelerator and incubator in my slide. I hope this is not a new thing for MBA IEB students because most of the time you will be sitting in your Puducherry Technology University's Atal Incubation Center, right? And I hope you guys are aware of this terminology. So it will be better if any one of the MBA IEB student voluntarily unmute yourself and explain about these terminologies to your BTech juniors. I will also explain, but I will give some add-on to your explanation. It will be better if you start.
Incubator is a machine which used for babies in hospitals.
Who is this? Can you please introduce?
Harita.
Are you from BTech or MBA?
BTech, sir.
BTech, okay. As per your point of view, your definition is right. I will not say wrong. Basically, incubator is used in hospitals and also in for biotechnology purpose. These incubators with orbital shakers are used for incubating the bacteria, and also in some cases of poultry farming for hatching the eggs, these incubators will be used. So I will not say your definition is wrong. As per your point of view, your definition is right. So hats off for making an attempt to understand this technology. I'm very happy to have an answer from a BTech student. So because many MBA students are here, apart from them, it's very glad to see a BTech students who is voluntarily coming up to answer this technology. But today, as per our session, we are not to learn about the biological incubator or medical incubator or poultry incubator. So this incubator is completely different from those kind of incubators. I hope MBA students will definitely know the definition.
Sir, incubators are the thing which can help to support our individual or a group of peoples to come out with their ideas.
Very good, very good. And your good name, please?
Sathyamangalam, sir.
Are you from MBA?
Sir, BTech, sir.
BTech, very good BTech students. Actually, Mr. Tirumurugan's definition is 100% right. There's no doubt on it. So this incubator is completely different from the biological incubator, medical incubator, and poultry incubator, which we are seeing for a long time. Students, please unmute yourself so that no disturbance will be there. When it's required, you can, please mute yourself. When it is required, you can unmute yourself. So, as per Mr. Tirumurugan's definition, it's actually his definition is 100% right. Actually, this concept is inspired from our ancient biological, medical, biomedical, and poultry incubators only. What we are doing in this poultry incubators and medical incubators, basically, some kind of atmosphere is created for the thing which is going to be incubated, right? Even if we take an poultry incubator, what we are doing, we are keeping an egg inside that poultry incubator. So that egg, for hatching purpose, some kind of atmospheric temperature and some basic kind of atmosphere is created by that incubator for the purpose of hatching, right? So the same concept was inspired for technology business incubator also. So in technology business incubator, instead of egg, we have idea. So the idea will be kept inside the incubator. Instead of atmosphere, we will give support system. We will find various kind of support system starting from company incorporation to go to market entry. So these kind of atmosphere will be provided to your idea for converting your idea into an emerging business. So in conventional medical incubator and poultry incubator, we are basically providing atmosphere to convert an egg into a chick, right? Likewise, here we are providing support system to an idea for converting that idea into a commercializable business. So this is a definition for incubator. So I'm very happy because BTech guys are aware of these technologies. It's really good, and it's a right time for you guys to know about these things. So you're really lucky to have this session today. And accelerators are nothing but, let me get into the next slide. In incubator, you will get early stage support, and accelerator, you will get secondary or scale up stage support. So this is the difference between an incubation and acceleration center. But in both incubator and acceleration, basically the support required for converting your business into converting your idea into a business will be provided. Basically, incubator will support you on early stage. If you are in ideation stage, your incubator will support you. And if you have already developed the product, if you are in a PhD and you have already developed a product, means your product will be commercialized with the support of acceleration. So that is the secondary stage or the scale-up stage. If you are having a product, you can directly approach the incubation center. Or else, if you are in ideation stage, so many BTech students will not know about product development. So most of you will be in ideation stage. So you can approach this incubation center for converting your innovative idea into a prototype or a product. Later, you can avail the support of this acceleration center for scaling up your product. So another thing is that R&D cell and incubation cell. So this is also very much prominent in all the higher educational institutions. We have R&D cell separately and incubation cell separately. In incubation center, we are converting idea into prototype, right? Basically, in R&D cell also, we will do that only. We will create some literature review, and based on that literature review, we will identify some concepts. So there we identify concepts. Here we identify ideas. These concepts will be carried out with desk research initially and followed by lab research. So there also we will conduct research trials, and here also in incubation center we will convert that idea into a prototype. Almost the motive is same, but there is a key difference. So it will be better if any one of you gets the difference between R&D cell and incubation cell. So in every institution we have separate R&D cell and separate incubation cell, right? Why we need to have two different cells? Almost both have a same focus, right? Both are trying to develop a product or technology or whatever it may be. It may be a process or prototype or product or technology. Basically, they are doing innovation. R&D cell is also involved in innovation. Incubation cell is also involved in innovation. So why we have two different cells? So almost all the incubation centers are established in recent years. Even in Puducherry Technology University, I think the Atal Incubation Center, Pondicherry Engineering College, was established within 3 to 4 years ago, I think. But these R&D cells are established long back. Come on, MBA students, your juniors are rocking, your BTech students are rocking, and now it's time to prove yourself. You're getting an opportunity. Usually, MBA students do not waste any opportunity. Yes?
You weren't audible. Can you repeat the question, sir? I'll try to answer, sir.
So thank you for the intimation. So I was actually asking, what is the difference between R&D cell and incubation cell?
This R&D is research and development, sir. So what basically research and development does is, for an existing product or no, usually for a product, they will do research and development and they'll come up with better ideas or modifications to the product. But what an incubation cell does is, it helps a startup or a product to grow, and they'll help. We have an incubation center ourselves, in our college. They help to incorporate the business, and they'll be with them to motivate them and guide them into the right path. So this is
very good. Your name is Mr. Anand, right?
Ananta Krishna, yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Mr. Anand. Your definition is exactly right. So there is a key difference. The key difference is commercial aspect. In R&D cell, no one will look on commercial aspect, as Mr. Anand told. They will look on digging into the deep core of science and technology. They will never care about commercialization. But incubation center is not like that. They will only focus on commercialization, and even there is a come with incubation centers. In incubation centers, they will consider only 20% of your technical part of your startup, and 80% they will concentrate on your commercialization aspect only. So there the rule is 80-20. But in case of R&D, they never care about commercialization. They will focus only on publication of paper, profile building, H-index building, these kind of things only. But in incubation centers, they will focus mainly on patent filing. Of course, in R&D cells also we used to file patents, but never those patents are commercialized, right? But in incubation centers, we focus on commercializing. We focus on commercializing patents and also on filing commercializable patents. So the commercialization is the major difference between R&D cell and incubation center. And also this incubation center will focus much on commercialization aspects only. So this is the key difference between R&D cell and incubation center, as your senior Mr. Anand told. And one more interesting thing to note that R&D cells are established long back. They are there for many years. But the intention of establishing an R&D cell is to carry out commercializable research only. But it was not possible. That's why incubation centers were established starting from 1984. And one more thing, in India, the first incubation center was established in Trichy. So in NIT Trichy, now it's NIT Trichy. In 1984, it was Regional Engineering College Trichy. So India's first incubation center was established in Trichy only. Actually, the incubation center was called as Trexter, Trichy Regional Engineering College, Science and Technology Entrepreneurial Park. So for this intention, only incubation centers were established, and now in all institutions like Pondicherry Technological University and other higher education institutions, we have separate R&D cell for focusing on academic research, and we have an incubation cell for focusing on industrializable and commercializable research. So this is the difference between R&D cell and incubation cell. So now I hope you guys are clear on the difference between R&D cell and incubation cell and acceleration centers. And also I hope you guys are clear on the difference between startup and entrepreneurship. So now we will see about the incubation, innovation, entrepreneurial venture, startup ecosystem enablers in our India. First, we will start with primary ecosystem enablers. Before that, I would like to know that, are you guys clear of these basic terminologies? Accelerator, incubator, R&D cell, and also we saw about startup entrepreneurship. Are you guys clear on these terminologies? Do you want me to stop and throw some better clarity on those?
No, sir, we are clear enough.
Super. Very good. So now we are entering into primary ecosystem enablers. First, we will start with Ministry of Education's Institution Innovation Council, who is sponsoring this webinar. Actually, all these primary ecosystem enablers are having a major role on awareness creation and motivating the students for generation of idea, and also for converting their idea into a business model canvas. You will see about business model canvas. I hope MBA graduates are aware of it, but for BTech graduates, I will also throw some insights on business model canvas. So what these all primary ecosystem enablers will do is that they will basically create awareness on entrepreneurship. They will promote startup ecosystem through these kind of workshops, and then they will also encourage the students for generation of innovative ideas by identification of problem statements. Finally, they will also help the students to convert their innovative idea into a business model canvas. So these are all the roles of the primary ecosystem enablers. And first, we are starting with Ministry of Education, Institution Innovation Council. I hope this MBA Innovation and Entrepreneurship Venture Development course curriculum was designed by this Ministry of Education Innovation, Ministry of Education, Institution Innovation Council only. So they are one of the primary ecosystem enablers. And also we have Ministry of Human Resource Development Innovation, which was the first innovation established in our central government. Now only we have this MOE, Institution Innovation Council. And also we have Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute of Tamil Nadu, ESELs and EHEBs. Of course, these ESELs and EHEBs are accessible for Tamil Nadu based entrepreneurs, but you guys can make use of the incubation centers supported under this Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute of Tamil Nadu. And then we also have RUSA 2.0 Innovation and Career Foundation. Almost in Tamil Nadu, we have 15 universities supported under this RUSA 2.0 scheme. So the motto of these 15 RUSA Entrepreneurship Innovation Career Foundation is to carry out primary ecosystem enabling in our country. And also we have central government's Department of Science and Technology, New Gen IEDC Hub. So they are also promoting primary ecosystem in our country. These are all the primary ecosystem enablers. And one small advice I would like to add here. These all ecosystem enablers are active in their social media, starting from Twitter to LinkedIn. So I hope you guys will be already having a Twitter and LinkedIn account. So you can follow the updates of these centers, these bodies, and you can get to know updates announced by these centers regularly. So take a snapshot of these things and follow these pages. Already you may be following, so that's good. But for freshers, you may start following from today, so that you can get to know about their investment updates, calls, and other day-to-day happenings, and you can keep yourself updated. Now we are going to see about the secondary ecosystem managers. The secondary ecosystem managers are nothing but incubation centers and acceleration centers, about which we are going to see about much on today's session. So let's start with Atal Incubation Center. Actually, Atal Incubation Center is funded by NITI Aayog under Atal Innovation Mission. So I don't need to explain much about this Atal Incubation Center, because in your Pondicherry Technology University itself, you are having Atal Incubation Center here. They are promoting incubation and acceleration ecosystem in the country. Mostly these incubation centers will focus on incubation activities only, but they will focus to some extent on acceleration also. Apart from these, we have dedicated acceleration centers also. We will see about it. And then we have BIRAC BioNest, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. So we have various BioNest in our country. Nearby Pondicherry, we have Atal Incubation Center, BioNest in Crescent University, also in Golden Jubilee Women Biotech Park. In these places we have, and also in IIT Madras, we have a bio-incubator. These bio-incubators, in the name itself you can guess, these bio-incubators will only nurture and develop bio and bio-allied sector entrepreneurship. So only bio-based entrepreneurs are able to utilize the service of them. Of course, biomedical and biochemical, even chemical, and also food technology, and also agricultural biotechnology graduates can make use of this agricultural biotechnology graduates, and also entrepreneurs can make use of the services provided by this BioNest. Then we have Department of Science and Technologies, NSTDB. NSTDB is taking much role on promotion of entrepreneurship ecosystem in our country. Actually, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board and entity of Department of Science and Technology. They have established many incubation centers in our country. Nearby Chennai, we have Sathyamangalam University Technology Incubator, and also several incubators are there. You can go to NSTDB page for getting updates on NSTDB incubator activities. So NSTDB is also a sector agnostic incubator like Atal Incubation Center. They focus on sector agnostic entrepreneurship promotion. Next, we will see about Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute of Tamil Nadu Incubator. So in our state, in Tamil Nadu state, we have around 9 VDITM supported incubators. Nearby your institution, you are having Amman University Technology Business Incubator. They are also focusing on sector agnostic entrepreneurship promotion, starting from life science to advanced manufacturing. And then we have Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Incubators. So we have these kind of sector agnostic incubators and SRM group of institutions, SRM VMA College, Velamal group of institutions, and also many incubation centers are established under this MSME near to Pondicherry. So they are also focusing on sector agnostic SME, small and micro enterprise promotion, and also they focus on startup promotion to some extent. So if your business or idea is much involved on small and micro enterprise development, you can make use of this MSME incubators. And then we have Pradhan Mantri's formalization of micro food enterprises. Actually, this incubation center is under policy stage only. It's about to implement, and this incubation center only focuses on promoting micro food based entrepreneurship. So only food based entrepreneurs can make use of this scheme. And we have IT Day. This is also one of the sector agnostic incubation center, which is established under the NIDI component of Department of Science and Technology. In our country, these incubation centers are about to establish in many places. As of now, we have Indira Gandhi Public Health Administration, Madhya Pradesh, I think. Apart from that, still some more incubation centers will be established soon. All the incubation centers will be sector agnostic. And we have NIDI accelerators. So the NIDI accelerators will focus only on acceleration activities. Acceleration is already all about acceleration. Acceleration will focus on secondary entrepreneurship, secondary startup promotion. That means scale up. And then we have MAITI startup also. So MAITI is Ministry of Electronics and Science and Technology. Ministry of Electronics, Information and Technology. So in the name itself, you can identify that only circuit branch based entrepreneurs can make use of this. Circuit based branch means nothing but EEC and AIC, CSCID, like these kind of branches. Only these kind of entrepreneurs can make use of this MAITI startup hubs. In MAITI also many funding schemes are there. We will see about this in the last part of the session. So these are all our primary and secondary enablers for country. If you are not following any of these ecosystem social media handles, you should definitely start following now, so that you can keep yourself updated on these things, what are all the happenings around us. So now we are getting into the tertiary enablers. They are nothing but angel investors and venture capitalists, and of course our focus of today's session is only on secondary enablers, which is about incubation and acceleration center. But I will throw some insights on these terminologies also. Of course, MBA grads can explain about these terminologies to your juniors, but the time is very short, so I will proceed further so that we can save time. Right? Of course, in the end of the session, we can also have some discussion part. To that discussion part, you can share your views. And if I have left anything in my session, you can also include that in the discussion part. First, we will start with the angel investor. Angel investor is basically a person or a providing capital for a startup. And what is the purpose of providing capital for a startup? They provide capital for a startup subject to exchange for ownership equity or convertible debt. That is their advantage. So that's why they are making investment in startup. And then the major difference between angel investor and bank is that bank will much depend on the collateral documents you provide. But these kind of angel investor will never look on your collateral documents. Instead, they look only on your idea and its commercializable aspect. So for approaching these angel investor and venture capitalists, you should have product in your hand. That product can be developed with the support of incubation centers, and you can reach out to this angel investor and venture capitalists through the support of acceleration centers. In case of bank, you need not to have a product. Even if you are in ideation stage, you can approach this bank. But the one thing is that you have to be rich. The middle class people will not have collateral documents, right? So they cannot approach bank for getting loan. And bank will focus on collecting interest from you, but these kind of angel investors and venture capitalists will focus on collecting equity from you, as we told you earlier. So this is the same definition we saw for angel investor. And venture capitalists will also provide capital for a startup subject to exchange of ownership equity or convertible debt. They will also look on your idea aspect. They will never consider about your economical status, you belong to middle class or rich. They will never consider about your collateral documents. But they will look on your product. If you are an ideation state, you can never approach these, venture capitalist or angel investor. If you are in ideation stage, the thing you have to do is that you need to approach your institution innovation council for converting some proof of concept with your idea, and then you have to build your business model canvas, and then you have to approach incubation center for developing a prototype, and then you have to approach your acceleration center nearby your locality for approaching this angel investor and venture capital. You can never directly approach these venture capitalists and angel investors because they are not that much accessible. They are high profile, high net worth individuals. They are high profile consultants, so you can never approach them directly. Through the support of incubation and acceleration centers only, you can approach them. That's why I want to share some insights on these venture capital and angel investors also. Now it's time to note one thing. In my slide, the definition for angel investor and venture capitalists are almost similar. Not almost similar, they are similar. Angel investor is also a person providing capital for a startup subject to exchange of ownership, equity, and convertible debt. Venture capital is also a person providing capital for a startup subject to exchange of ownership, equity, and convertible debt. But the thing to note is that there is a key difference between these two terminologies. Let's see what is the difference between these two terminologies. I hope some MBA guys is also not aware of these terminologies nowadays. The main difference between an angel investor and venture capitalist is that angel investor will invest their own hard-earned money. Basically, these angel investors are once entrepreneurs. They started their journey in the early stage as entrepreneurs, and now they are wishing to make investment in many startups and promote entrepreneurship ecosystem. So these angel investors will invest their own funding. Rather, venture capitalists will invest only pooled funding. They never have their own funding. They are basing the connecting point between the investors and startups. So many investors are there in our country. They don't know how to make investment decisions. They will have bulk amount of money. Let's say politicians. They will have bulk amount of money, but they don't have knowledge on making investment decisions. At the same time, we have startups who deserve investment. So these venture capitalists basically connect those investors with startups, and they arrange for pooled funding. They never invest their own funding. They will only invest their pooled funding. They basically connect angel investors, they basically connect the investor in one side and also a startup in other side. They are basically connecting bridge between these two persons. So this is the key difference between angel investor and venture capitalist. And one more thing is to be noted is that there are two kind of capital. I hope MBA students will be knowing about it, but for BTech graduates, I need to explain about it. So there are two capital in the business. One is capex and one is opex. So capex is capital expenditure. It is also known as seed expenditure. And working capital or operation capital are known as opex. So these are the two capital that is required for a business. These kind of angel investor and venture capitalists will fund you on both stages. They will fund you for seed capital stage also and also on operation stage also. But all the government agencies will focus only on investing you in your seed stage. They will only invest you on for your seed capital. They will never consider about your operational capital. You have to manage it on your own. Of course, we will see about government opportunities, government grant in our last part of the session. This is the thing to be noted. To make it more clear, let me explain this with an example. For example, if you are buying a bike, the amount you are going to invest on your bike is your seed capital. And the amount you are going to invest on your bike's fuel allowance for the next 5 years is your working capital. Not only fuel allowance, your maintenance charges, insurance, and all these things come under operational capital or OPEX or working capital. So this is the key difference between seed capital and working capital. Of course, if you are establishing a business, you need to lease a space, you need to construct your own space, and also you need to buy some equipment, right? All these comes under seed capital. After establishment, you need to get an electricity connection network, and also you need to pay monthly electricity bills, monthly internet bills, and monthly wages for your employees, that is salary for your employees. So all these things come under working capital. So before approaching a government agency or before approaching an angel investor, you should have clear-cut definition about your seed capital requirement and venture capital, sorry, working capital requirement. So far we have seen about everything, and now it's time to know who are all eligible to get acceleration or incubation support through these ecosystem enablers. We saw about primary ecosystem enablers who are nothing but VDC and IAC, and also we saw about secondary enablers who are nothing but incubation centers and accelerators. Also we saw about tertiary ecosystem enablers who are venture capitalists and angel investors. Now it's time to see who are all eligible to approach these centers and avail support. So this will be a major doubt in everyone's mind now, and now it's time to see about the eligibility criteria. Any individual above 18 with an innovative idea can get a support from an IAC or an EDC or an technology business incubator or an acceleration center or an angel investor or venture capitalist. So this 18 years is as per legal norm. Even nowadays, students are there. Students are nothing but kid entrepreneurs. So they are establishing their own venture at their 8 age, 10 age, and 13 age through their parents. In their parents' name, they will be establishing their venture, and they will be in the back end. But you have to be an adult for getting support from these kind of centers, because as per legal norms, you should be an adult to establish your company in your name. So this is one criteria. And of course, another doubt in everyone's mind is that can a full-time student or part-time student, an undergraduate student, PG student, PhD student, or postgraduate fellow can establish a startup or not? This is a major doubt which is in every student's mind. Yes, of course, these students can start, any student can start their own venture. Of course, if you are a student, engineering student, or a graduate, undergraduate student, means definitely you will be above 18, right? So you can establish your own business in your name. If you are a school student, of course, no school student will be in the session. I want to explain. If you are a school student, basically you can establish your business in your parents' name. So this kind of innovation ecosystem enablers are accessible to almost everyone in our country, starting from kids to adults, and starting from students to illiterates. So even illiterates can make use of this thing. And finally, it's time to break a myth. A full-time faculty member permitted by their employer can also make use of this thing. But one thing is that government institutions will not allow their faculty members to establish their own venture in their name, because already they are getting fat pay from the government side, right? So one thing they can do, they can become an advisor in a venture. They can establish their venture and they can become an advisor of that venture, and they can support that venture in back end. Of course, you can support the venture in back end. No one is going to restrict. In case, luckily, if you are a private employer, sorry, private faculty member associated with a private higher education institution, you are free to start your own venture. And one thing is needed, you basically need to get an NOC from your management, college management, to avoid future disputes. So if you are done with that, you can easily establish your own venture. So now it's time to know one more bonus thing. You may be an individual, you may be a government faculty member, you may be a private faculty member, you may be an illiterate, you may be a kid, you may be an educated fellow, you may be a student. All these categories cannot directly get support from acceleration or incubation or pre-incubation or angel investor and venture capitalist. They need to establish an entity in their own name, because without legally incorporating an entity into a name, you cannot get this kind of support. So that is highly essential. And of course, registering an entity in your team name is not a much complicated task. Even you guys can do it in yourself on your own at your early stage, and during your revenue stage, you can hire a chartered accountant and you can outsource for establishing your own venture in your team name. Of course, for some students, there are some concession in your student team name itself. You can that student name need not to be incorporated. With your unregistered student team name itself, you can get some funding. But 90% of our funding and support will be provided to you only if you are registered entity. So it's better to start registering your entity now if you are interested to pursue entrepreneurship and startup as your career. So this is the thing. Who are all the eligible to get support from Accelerator Center. So now you guys are clear on the eligibility criteria. Shall we proceed further? And of course, some MBA graduates may be knowing all these things, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm supposed to give insights for your juniors, that is BTech graduates also. That's why I'm taking this much time. So BTech students, shall we proceed further? Anything to interrupt, anything to clear as of now?
Sir, I have a small doubt, sir.
Yes, Mr. Anand.
Yes, sir. So the thing is, so like, what if the company is already a good startup and they didn't have an incubation center, but they are in a need of accelerator? So without an incubation center, without the first step, can they directly go and use an accelerator, sir?
Yes, yeah, of course. So the eligibility criteria for entering into an accelerator is to have some yearly traction. So there are various stages. We call it as technology readiness level. So you have to be at least in technology readiness level 5. I will explain about it in my further part of the session about all the technology readiness level. So the technology readiness level 5 states that you should have conducted some pilot trials with your product and you should have some yearly traction. Yearly traction means yearly revenue from yearly customers. So if you are having this, you can easily approach an acceleration center for scaling up your product in many parts of our country. But the thing is that you have to be in technology readiness level 5, at least technology readiness level 5, which means you should have carried out some pilot trials with your product and you have some yearly revenue. And I will also explain about technology readiness 1, 2, 3, and there are 9 technology readiness levels established by NASA. So I will also explain about the other stages.
Okay, so one more thing is, why, like, I have a question. This is for a long time I had this question.
Okay.
So why is incubation centers only supporting people with technological background, or if their idea only consists of anything technological, why they are supporting? Why they are not supporting something traditional? Like, suppose I have a business idea which doesn't involve artificial intelligence, IoT, or SES development. Why they don't support that? Why do they only support things with which has technology?
Okay. Hats off to Mr. Ramakrishnan. It's an excellent doubt. That's why I'm encouraging you guys to ask doubt from the starting, because of course I cannot cover all the topics, right? You have to shoot up those questions to me and I can answer accordingly. So that is a good doubt. Your senior and your friend Mr. Ramakrishnan is asking why technology business incubator is only focusing on technical startups and not on conventional startups. So of course, in the name itself, you can identify technology business incubator. So technology is there; they are focusing on technology business incubator. And one more thing to be noted is that if you are a conventional business, the place you have to approach is business development centers. So these kind of business development centers will help you for marketing guidance. They will help you for leasing a co-working space. They will help you for networking. They will help you for building fundraising through big district industry center. So these kind of business development centers, so almost these kind of business development centers will not be associated with higher education institution. They are completely profit-making organization. They are private organization. In Tier 1 cities like Chennai, we have many kind of business development centers. They are basically business development consultants. So these kind of business development consultants will support conventional business, support conventional business to carry out their scale-up activities. But these kind of technology business incubators, almost all the technology business incubators in our country are associated with the higher education institution. Because the main thing is that for a business incubator, technology is very, very essential. And technology is born in a place called higher education institution. And that's why we have all the incubation centers established in a higher education institution campus. So these kind of technology business incubators will support only the technology driven startups. Like Mr. Anandakrishnan told that they will focus on whether artificial intelligence is involved in your idea and whether IoT or any kind of technical thing is involved in your idea or not. So both business development centers and technology business incubation centers are having a different set of focus. So based on your requirement, you may reach a business development center. Of course, if you are, no one is going to stop you. You may reach a business development center if you are working on a conventional business. And in case if you are working on a technology business development, technology-driven startup development, you can approach technology business incubator. And of course, all the technology-driven startups are eligible to avail support from business development centers. But these business development centers are almost profit-making, and you cannot get much concession there. So they are profit minded. But these technology business incubators are registered as a Section 8 company, which means a not for profit organization. We call it as NGO, right? So they never consider on profit. They will never consider on profit making. Of course, they will charge some incubation charge, consultation charge, and some part of the equity at the early stage for their self-sustenance, but they will never consider on profit making. So that you can easily make use of many kind of government schemes using this technology business incubators. And also these technology business incubators will help you to connect with various kind of investors and accelerators without some commission basis. But business development centers will only work for profit. So if you are a technology driven startup, the advantage is that you have technology business incubator. And if you are a commercial business potential driven startup, then you have to approach a business development consultant or a business development agency, and then you can make use of the services of them. So, Mr. Anandakrishnan and other students, are you guys are clear between the technology business incubator and business development centers? Mr. Anandakrishnan, have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have answered my question, sir. But then I'm getting more and more doubts. Like, so, anyways, you can complete the session, sir.
Okay, okay. Even we can have a discussion part in the last, and also we will discuss offline mode. No problem.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, fine. So the main thing is that in technology business incubators, you will get lot of concession, lot of funding schemes, lot of opportunities. In case if you are a technology driven startup. So no one can give you all those concessions for conventional business, right? Because conventional business, in case of conventional business, competition is very, very high, and the volume is also very, very high. We cannot focus on quality. So there is an entry restriction. That is nothing but technology. If we are having that entry restriction, means all the business will be streamlined, so that we will get quality startups and we can give some concession to their quality startups. So that is the difference. Of course, we will discuss more, Mr. Anandakrishnan, at the end, and also we will discuss offline. So almost the time is 10, and I think the session timing is 1 hour only. Will it be a problem if I take another 10 to 15 minutes? Do we have another any commitment? Because still we need to cover some important aspects. Because the session is having both BTech graduates and MBA graduates, I need to satisfy both and balance the session. So do you have any other commitments? Shall we take another 10 or 15 minutes extra? Of course, we have started the session on time, but I need to balance the content. Of course, we have covered many basic aspects considering the BTech graduates in the session, but still there are some more advanced inputs for MBA graduates also. I want to cover it. Can I take 10 to 15 minutes extra? Will it be a problem? Hemakumar sir? Hello, am I in the session?
Yes, sir.
Can I take 10 more minutes?
Yes,
for?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. The student is not having any other classes next week, right?
Yes, yes, sir. They're online.
Almost it's breakfast time. I'm really sorry, students, because I have to balance the content. That's why I'm taking this 10 minutes extra additional time, and surely I will try to conclude in 10 minutes. Of course, it's breakfast time. I'm really sorry for that. So far we have covered all the basic aspects, and now we need to cover some advanced aspects for considering the MBA graduates present in the session. So these are the basic steps for setting up a startup. Now we are in the startup setting up phase. So these are all the basic steps in starting up a startup. So every startup starts with ideation, followed by pre-incubation, incubation, and acceleration. So today's session is on incubation and acceleration, so we will cover more on it. So here is an entire startup blueprint. So this is the entire startup process in brief. In R&D cell, basically your idea will be converted into a proof of concept. So every institution is having an R&D cell, and of course we saw what is an R&D cell. In these R&D cells, idea will be converted into a proof of concept. Of course, these ideas will be generated with Innovation Council's awareness workshops, as we told earlier. These workshops will basically encourage you to generate idea from problem statements. After generation of idea, you can convert that idea into a proof of concept. After converting your idea into a proof of concept using this R&D cell, you can build your business model canvas using the support of 3 incubators, which are nothing but entrepreneurship development centers and institution innovation council. And then after building your business model canvas, you can approach an incubator for converting your business model canvas into a prototype and a minimum viable product. Finally, you will enter into graduation stage, at go-to-market stage. And after graduation means entry into market in an incubation center is considered as graduation stage. So in that go-to-market stage, you will get graduated, and then you will enter into an accelerator. So Mr. Anandakrishnan told right there, it seems we may be having an already a pilot tested prototype. In case if you are having a pilot tested prototype, you can directly skip these first 3 stages, and you can directly approach an acceleration center for scaling up your early stage traction into a huge scale business potential. So this is the entire startup blueprint. This is the involvement of various entrepreneurship ecosystem enablers in various stages. So now let's see one by one stages. Ideation. This is particularly for BTech students. In ideation, you need to generate an innovative idea which is feasible and which is able to create a huge impact upon implementation. In my slide itself, I have highlighted that innovative idea, feasibility, and impact. So these 3 things are important. An idea is very, very essential, and it's very, very worthy only if it is feasible and it is able to create an impact. Let's see how to carry out feasibility. So there are 2 feasibility. One is technical feasibility and one is market feasibility. So in technical feasibility, your professors are there. I am not a person who can support you on technical feasibility carrying out studies. So your professors and mentors can. Yes. Any doubt? Okay. So your professors are there to support you to carry out technical feasibility studies because they are having much expertise. You will carry out technical feasibility studies with the help of your professors and R&D centers, and then you will have to carry out your market feasibility studies on your own. So market feasibility study is very, very important for a startup. And of course, I told in the beginning of the session itself, only 20% of technical weightage is given to a startup. Almost 80% weightage is given to commercialization aspect. So that is the 80-20 rule. So it is a need of the hour. And this market feasibility studies can be carried out using online and offline surveys. Of course, you all know to design Google Forms. You can design several set of survey questionnaire and you can circulate it among your friends, and you can carry out whether your idea will be accepted by market or not. So that is called as market feasibility study or impact analysis. So there is one more thing. Let's see how an idea can create a huge impact or not. Of course, an idea can create a huge impact only if it is able to solve a huge problem statement. So I will suggest everyone to start with problem statement identification rather than novelty identification. You should run behind problems at your early stage. No need to run about novelty. If you run about problem statements, definitely novelty, innovation, everything is welcome. So I will suggest everyone to start with problem statement identification. Problem statement is around us. Everywhere it is around us. To identify problem statements, you have to follow a strategy called as design thinking strategy. It is also known as out of box thinking strategy. So you guys have to think out of box and identify problem statements. So with the problem statements, you can filter the problem statements using some strategies, and then you can start providing solutions for that problem statements, which is nothing but your innovative idea. So let's see with an example. In ancient days, during World War times, we used to have these trunk suitcases, which are in the bottom left side of my slide. So these trunk suitcases are very, very, very heavy. Later, they invented some trolley to carry these trunk suitcases, and now in 2000th century, with the R&D of American Tourister, we have these trolley suitcases, and also VAB Tourister and other prominent brand or manufacturing these kind of trolley suitcases. So this is one example for an innovation, a simple innovation, which brought huge impact into the market. So let's see further. Actually, the innovation involved in this product is simply 4 wheels which are attached to the bottom of the suitcase and one handle which is attached to the top of the suitcase. Here the innovation is very, 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 very simple. But what the impact it brought into the market, basically it reduced a major pain point. Many travel freaks, many person who used to travel often, many business person, many adventurer person, all these persons used to travel often, right? So they will feel very, 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 very uncomfortable to carry their heavy suitcases all the way. But this suitcase solved that big problem statement. Though the innovation is very, very, very small, the problem statement it was able to solve is very, very high. That is the impact it was able to create inside the suitcase industry. Now, in all homes, we have this suitcase industry, and we all are using this suitcase industry during our long range travels. So, this is an example for excellent example for an impactful innovation. So, your innovation need not to be much technical part. Your innovation may focus only 20% on technology. You don't need to focus much on those kind of molecular biology in case of biotechnology, or in case of machine learning and artificial intelligence in case of digital product. You don't need to go much deep on that. Only 20% is enough. But with the 20% innovation, you can approach the technology business. Of course, one of your friends, Mr. Anand, asked why all the technology business incubators are only supporting technical driven startups or technology driven startups. The thing to be noted is that they are asking only 20% of technological aspect. Remaining 80% of course lies on commercialization. But business development center will ask you only on 100% of commercialization aspect. They don't ask for technology. But with the help of technology business incubators, you can get various kind of service at nominal charges, and also you can get various kind of government support. But these kind of business development centers will never support you on raising government support. And also, most of you are belonging to technical background, right? So this will not be a matter for you guys. Generating 20% of technology for your startup will not be a matter. That's why we all are here to. I think my voice is echoing. Students, please mute yourself. So
Sir.
only 20. Yes.
One small thing, sir. People have posted their doubts in the chat box, sir. So kindly, address them.
Okay. I missed first part, recorded session feedback link. Is there any website to put up ideas for approach, sir? You cannot post your ideas, Ms. Harita. Actually, if you post your idea in a common platform, means someone may steal your idea. You have to file your IP, and you can create your own website for sharing your ideas. But one thing is that there are many common platforms which are promoting innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in our country. I will share those links in my last slide. You can take a snapshot of it. You can visit that slide and you can follow their updates. But it will be very, very good if you share your idea only in your platform, because if you share your idea in common platform means it is accessible for everyone, right? So idea theft may occur even if you file patent. So that's not advisable. But your motto is to get updated on government opportunities and other kind of updates happening in our country, right? For that, you can follow many kind of websites. I will share those links in the last part of the session. I think no more doubts. Okay, fine. So next we will see about pre-incubation. After idea generation, you will approach pre-incubation centers, which is nothing but IAC and EDC. So here you will generate proof of concept, as we saw earlier, and also these proof of concept will also be generated in R&D cell. But of course, R&D cell and IACs are within an higher education institution, right? So IAC will also support you on proof of concept development. So here you can get to know about like-minded people in these kind of pre-incubators like IAC and EDC, because you will be attending lot and lot of events, conclaves. That will be introducing with like-minded people who are passionate on startups. So that is the best place for team building. So in this pre-incubation stage itself, you can build your team. And of course, branding. So branding like logo creation, slogan creation, everything else can be done with this pre-incubation center. And these pre-incubation centers, through a structured workshop, they will conduct business model preparation workshop. So through that workshop, you can convert your proof of concept into a business model campaign. And of course, we are I'm repeating this terminology, business model canvas. Of course, MBA graduates are aware of this terminology. For BTech graduates, I have a short glimpse on this business model canvas. So this is the structure of a business model canvas. In this business model canvas, as I told you earlier, 80% you will be describing about your technology only, sorry, commercial aspect only, and 20% only on technology. So here itself you can note that in the fourth slide only you can describe about your technology. In the remaining 9 or in the remaining 8 slides you can describe about your commercialization aspect. First you have to describe about your problem statement in your first slide. So I already saw what is problem statement. And then you have to segment your customer. Who are your target audience? Whether your target audience is a student or your target audience is a working professional, or you can also segment your customer based on gender, whether female or male. And also you can segment your customer based on age. Like this, you can segment your customer and project in the slide. And in third slide, you can project your unique value proposition. So value proposition is the value you are adding to that existing product. In case of the suitcase example, the value addition is nothing but the suitcase trolley wheels and handle, which is not available in the earlier version. So the updation is nothing but the value addition. It is also unique value proposition. So your value proposition should be clear. You should not do blah 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 kind of things in UAP, because people will focus much on these slides. And we can also call this unique value proposition as novelty or innovation. People call it many technologies, but the concept is same. And fourth slide, of course, you can describe about your technical things. And the fifth slide, you can describe about your unfair advantage. I think some MBA graduates, for MBA graduates also, this thing will be a new terminology. Unfair advantage means it's also called as unique strategic assets. So it's basically a synonym for unfair advantage. Unique strategic assets is nothing but they are the assets which prevent copyability of your technology. So now I hope you get my point. So it's nothing but IPR, intellectual property rights. So we have copyrights, trademarks, design patents, and of course patents. So all these comes under IPR head. So that is a big portion. You have to have a separate session on it. So you may Google it. So no need of explanation much on IPR. You may Google it and know about it. So in that you can know about intellectual property rights filing. In the fifth point, you have to describe about intellectual property rights. And sixth slide, you have to describe about revenue stream. In what way you are generating revenue for your product. So you may generate revenue through subscription model, you may generate revenue through service model, and also you may generate revenue through direct sale model. So these are all the revenue streams, prominent revenue streams. For example, if you are having a mechanical workshop, you can sell bike and generate revenue. So that is direct sale, and also you can provide service, and also you can give that bike on rental basis and generate revenue from service model. So these are all the revenue streams, popular revenue streams, and finally cost structure. So already we saw about capex and opex, right? You have to segment your capex and opex, and you have to describe about your cash cost structure here. And finally, key metrics. Key metrics are nothing but growth indicators. For example, an higher education institution, number of students getting placed in an annum is their key metrics. And for YouTube channel, number of subscribers is their key metrics. Likewise, every business is used to have a unique key metrics, and you have to find out your key metrics and project it here. Finally, channels. So there are many channels: B2B channel, B2C channel, B2C channel, S2G channel. So B2B is the prominent, business to business. B2C is also prominent, business to customer, which is nothing but retail business. But B2C is e-commerce, so direct to customers. And also we have S2G. S2G means startup to government. So nowadays many schemes are there. Through that you can directly procure goods from your government can directly procure goods from the startups. So these are all the supports provided by incubation center. So I know the time is running and it's time for breakfast. So I will run through my slides. As we told earlier, company registration is mandatory for a team. So incubation center will facilitate you for company registration. You don't need to worry for that. And of course, Startup India registration is also mandatory for all startups. In our country, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which is funding under the Ministry of Industries and Commerce, is the regulatory body for startups. So under this ministry, you need to get a certificate as a startup. And of course, these technology business incubator will help you to avail the Startup India registration. So these are all the other registrations. These are all not mandatory. They are just optional. Starting from goods and service tax registration. So there are some eligibility criteria for goods and service tax registration. And of course, at your early stage, you don't need to get these goods and service tax registration. And if your business is import centric and export centric, you need to get this IE code. And if your business is micro, small, medium enterprises, you need to get this Vidyam portal registration. And then trade license if you are involved in manufacturing activities. So actually, this trade license is mandatory for business who are operating their business in a corporation region. So if you are in rural setup, you don't need to get this trade license. And also shops and established and registration. This is only applicable if you are having manpower above 8. If you are having staff in your company more than 8 in numbers, means you need to get this shops and establishment act registration. And DSAR registration is particularly for research driven businesses. So this certification cannot be obtained in your early stage. You should need to have some track record. And TAN registration. So TAN is nothing but tax deduction system and tax collection system account number. So this will be required when you hire your employees and you pay bulk amount of salary to them. So if you are paying bulk amount of the salary to them, you have to deduct taxes on their sources. So that is nothing but tax reduction in sources. So for that purpose, you need to have this TAN number. And finally, GEM portal. So GEM portal, you can participate in government tenders and government e-bidding. So all the startups will get relaxation for participating in this GEM bid. So these are all the registrations which are not mandatory for you guys. You can take a snapshot of it and also you can learn more about in Google. So here is intellectual property rights. And all the incubation centers can facilitate you for IP filing like patent, trademark, designs, and etc. And startup kit. So startup kit is nothing but many banking. So of course, if you are registering your company, you need to have your current account. MBA students can know about that. Along with current account, many kind of bank are providing you startup kit. Under the startup kit, you will get various kind of e-vouchers. For example, you need to build your website, right? For that, you need Amazon Web Service Cloud. These banks will give you free Amazon Web Service Cloud credits. They will give you IBM credits. They will give you Microsoft credits. They will give Vakil Search credits. The Bank of Baroda is one such bank which is providing you all these credits worth around 1 lakh. And you have ICICI Bank Startup account and HDFC Samrit account. Many accounts, startup accounts are there. Every bank is having a dedicated startup current account, so you can make use of them. And internship support. This is mainly useful for UG students. So all the incubation centers are associated with higher education institution. So the incubated companies in a technology business incubator that make use of the interns available with that higher education institution. This is the kind of win-win situation. Both the intern can get benefited, both the student intern can get benefited. They can get some pocket money also, and they can develop their technical skills, and also the startups are getting dedicated manpower at cheap cost. So that is another advantage. And mentorship support. And the other thing is that higher education institutions are having a rich mentor pool. They are having a rich faculty expertise. So these faculty can be engaged in the technology business incubators through mentorship programs. So that the major advantage is that they can hold some equity in that startup for the mentorship they render, and also they can get good HMs. So you can commercialize your idea, your intellectual things. So next is technology support. In case if you are a startup, you cannot get everything on your own. For example, if you need a 3D printer, you cannot buy a 3D printer on your own. The 3D printer may worth you around 1 lakh if it is a decent 3D printer. And also if you need some kind of electronic circuit designing, you need to have some kind of soldering, resoldering setup. So these kind of setups cannot be bought on your own. So you can use all these facilities available with an higher education institution like Puducherry Technological University through the technology business incubator like AAC, etc. Of course, if you are a student, you can directly make use of these technologies. If you are a passed out student, you cannot directly enter into your lab, right? So your incubation center, you can enter into this lab and carry out this technology development. And not only technology development, you can also carry out technology certification, technology validation, technology testing. All these things can be done with this incubation centers. So many incubation centers will also focus you on applying for innovation contests. Through these innovation contests, you can get some prize money, which will be very helpful for you. And marketing guidance. Of course, Accelerator will help you much on marketing guidance. And the incubation center will also focus something about marketing part. They will nurture some basics of marketing in your mind. If you are a pure techie, no need to worry. Incubation centers are there to help you. And if you are a pure BCom plus MBA graduate, no need to worry. Incubation centers are ready to connect with you a right technical mentor and support on technical aspects. And finally, product showcase. In incubation centers, many kind of demo day will be organized. In the demo day, you can launch your product. In this demo day, many kind of investors, many kind of startup ecosystem stakeholders, and many kind of ecosystem enablers will be participating, so that you can basically do networking. And investor connect. Of course, incubation centers will connect you in your early stage with government agencies, and acceleration centers will connect you with investors like angel investors and venture capitalists at your scaling stage. So now we saw about all stages. So already I told to Mr. Anand that there are many stages. Already I told about technology readiness level, and we spoke about technology readiness level 5. So let's see what are the other technology readiness level stages. And now it's time to map your stage. If you are a startup aspirant, please map your stage. For example, if you are making networking with an investor or a community enabler, the main thing they will ask you is that what is your technology readiness level? And by that time, you should be able to answer this question. If not, you will not get an impression. Of course, you will not get a first impression. So first impression is the best impression, right? So you guys should be able to identify your technology readiness level. So the technology readiness level for a startup is like a age for human. Let's assume that if someone is asking you your age and you are not able to reply, means it's not a good thing, right? Like this, if you are a startup aspirant, you should be able to identify your technology readiness level stage. And one good thing is that you cannot get this particular slide even in Google, because in Google it will not be much simple. Lot of technical things will be involved, and you need to carry out rigorous groundwork to understand about this technology readiness level chart. But I have made a rigorous research on those things, and I have simplified those things, and I have put it in front of you. So please take the screenshot of this particular slide, because I am damn sure that you cannot get it anywhere else, because it is my own secret. I am sharing my secret. So you can make use of it. You can take backup of it also. You can take a backup of it in Google Drive also, because it is much important, because you cannot get it anywhere. So let's start with stage 1. Stage 1 is nothing but ideation, which is facilitated by 3 incubators. And stage 2 is proof of concept, which is facilitated by R&D centers. And stage 3 is alpha and beta prototyping. So of course, stage 3, first you have to carry out prototyping, and you have to convert that prototype into a alpha and beta prototype. Alpha and beta prototype is nothing but iterative prototype. Already you know about prototype, right? So the iterative prototype is that you have to get some feedback from experts, and you have to incorporate that experts in level 1, that is called as alpha prototype. And again, you have to iterate that prototype. The second iteration is called as beta prototype. And then we have MVP, minimum viable product. So minimum viable product is that it's a kind of product which cannot be directly sold into the market. It's a pre-commercialization product. And then with the minimum viable product, you can conduct some field trials with your early stage customers. So next stage is go-to-market stage. At this stage, you will be getting graduation from a technology business incubator most of stage. So this pre-commercialization stage is nothing but go-to-market stage. Here we will be financing your marketing strategy. And pre-revenue stage. It is also called as pre-sales stage. In this pre-revenue stage, you will be finally setting our sales strategy. Finally, launching and commercialization, which is also known as graduation stage. So these are all the technology readiness level. You can take a snapshot of it and store it for future reference. So we are done with the today's session, guys. And the final part of my session, there are many funding schemes, and of course, you guys can basically Google it and learn it on your own. I need not to explain much on these funding schemes. Of course, it is important, but I have given a compilation of these funding schemes. One thing I will do that is I will share these slides with your professor, Mr.M.Sriraaman sir, Dr. Demystifying sir, and he will share you with all of you guys, and you can basically Google these funding schemes and explore further. So I will categorize these funding schemes alone. Funding schemes is categorized into 6 categories. First, we will start with DIG schemes. So DIG schemes is only for conventional business. If you are a technology-driven business, it's not the right thing to approach DIG schemes, because DIG schemes will ask you for repayment of loan with interest. Of course, they will give subsidies, but it's not the right thing if you are a technology-driven startup. Because for technology-driven startup, there are many good schemes. I will explain about it. But if your idea is much focusing on commercialization aspect, that is 100% only on business aspect, you can approach this district industry center. In every district, we have a district industry center. You can find it out on our district website. The main thing is that you can get some subsidies from this district industry center. For example, if you are getting investment from a district industry center around 5 lakh means, you have to repay that 3.5 lakh with interest, and that 1.5 lakh is not needed to be repaid. I have displayed all the big funding schemes in my slide. You can search it later. And then seed fund. Seed fund is nothing but soft loan. The difference between loan and soft loan is that in soft loan you don't need to pay much interest rate, but in seed fund you can pay a nominal interest rate. And then government grant. So the major advantage of this government grant is that you no need to repay the money at all. You can submit the utilization certificate and you can finish your project. So if you are a commercial venture, you can focus on big funding schemes and seed funding schemes. If you are a technology-driven startups, you need to focus on 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can obviously note that for technology-driven startups, there are many opportunities. Out of these 6 opportunities, you can approach 4 out of that 6. But if you are a purely commercial venture, you can make use of only 2 things. And of course, commercial venture, if you are able to infuse some innovation, because 20% innovation and technology is enough, right? You can directly convert it into the category 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then fellowships. I hope you all have heard of research fellowship, but now I'm going to disclose an interesting thing. Government agencies is also giving you fellowship for pursuing entrepreneurship as a career, because entrepreneurship is not a normal thing, right? Everyone is going for employment, and this fellowship starts from 30,000 to 60,000. So imagine, guys, nowadays engineering graduates is not even getting this much of salary, but with the support of these incubation centers, you will be able to generate this much of fellowship amount. And then private investment. So already we saw about angel investor and venture capitalists. I have given the websites of angel investors and venture capitalists in my next part of the slide. You can search it later through Google. I need not to explain those slides. And finally, CSR grant. CSR is nothing but corporate social responsibility grant. So all the corporate companies need to donate 2% of their profit to some socially impact-driven ventures. So all the startup comes under the category of socially impact-driven ventures. So you can utilize the 2% as a grant. So these are all the funding schemes. Here are some big funding schemes, NEET funding scheme, PMEGP, UIGP. You can Google it later. And then you can Google about government seed fund scheme. We have Ministry of Human Resource Development, BUSA scheme. NSC scheme, triple scheme, seed support scheme, NABARD seed support scheme, BIRAC seed support scheme, and grant. You can note that there are n number of grants. The only thing is that you should be technology driven. That to 20% technology driven startup is enough. So if you are an conventional business, there is not much opportunity for you guys. But if you are a technology driven business, there is much and much opportunity, and you can get many support from technology business incubators. So there are many grants. You can Google it later, and not all the grants are sector agnostic, and also not all the grants are year-round open. You can Google it to know about more information, and also you can approach me personally offline to know more about these grants. So I don't need to explain about these grants, I think. So here are some new funding schemes also. You can search those things. And finally, fellowship. There are 4 fellowships, government-funded fellowships for pursuing startup as a career. You can also Google it. Angel investor website. Here are the angel investor website, and here are the venture capitalist website. I will share the slides. No need to worry. And CSR grant. In the slide itself, you can know that Bajaj name is there, Indus name is there, ICICI, HDFC, Tata. So all the corporate companies are supposed to spend 2% of their profit and impact-driven investment. So of course, startup can make use of the CSR grants. So thank you guys. Almost I took 30 minutes additional. So sorry, really sorry. And almost it's breakfast time. I think the major drawback is that here both MBA graduates and both BTech graduates are here. So I need to balance. That's why I took 30 minutes extra. In all my sessions, I used to manage my time, but today I failed. I am sorry for the same. And of course, I have disturbed your routine breakfast timings. So sorry for the same. Sorry, really sorry for the same. But I hope definitely this session will be very, very useful for both MBA graduates and also BTech graduates. If I have done justice to this session to both undergraduate and postgraduate mates, I am really happy. So now it's the session is open for discussion, and now you can share your feedback. We can discuss on some things, and also you can ask some doubts. So thanks a lot to the management of PTU for giving me this great opportunity to share my insights.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, we are very happy. Sir, you took a very elaborate session and very detailed about the different aspects. You took, it was not extra, it was more informative actually, because really we enjoyed a lot. That's the important, and more aspects you have delivered regarding the TRL levels, the different incubators, accelerators. Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Thank you for sharing your valuable time.
Okay, sir.
If you have any doubts, open, or we can call Ananthakrishnan to deliver the vote of thanks. Its session is open for queries. You can ask sir. Anyway, we'll, as sir told, we'll share you the video recording as well. The sir told you'll be sharing the PPT slides. I'll share with you.
So, yes, definitely the PPT will be useful.
Yes,
because lot of funding schemes are there. You can search through all the schemes post this session through Google's help. So yes, for that, Google is enough. I think in that itself you can get all the details. So useful website links are also there. You can follow their updates, and also the technology readiness level chart is very, very important. So
yes,
don't miss that. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I have shared my mobile number also in the session.
Yes, sir.
Chat box. So you can also approach me for any future support.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It was a really good and informative session, sir, from your side. And if anyone has any doubts, they can clarify it now, or can we move to the vote of thanks?
Ananthakrishnan?
Sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I request Ms. Bannari to give the vote of thanks address.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to express my gratitude to all the participants for their presence and active participation to make this webinar successful. I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Sriraaman, to take out time from his busy schedule to share valuable information and enlightening us on this day. And I would like to express our profound gratitude to Dr. Hemakumar, convener Institute Innovation Council, for organizing this webinar and providing immense support and encouragement to make this a successful one. And last but not the least, I extend my gratitude to all the coordinators of these events, students, and anchors for their dedication and coordination in making this session interactive and interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, all the participants, and please kindly fill up the feedback form, for receiving the participation certificates. It will be there in the chat box. So kindly fill up the feedback forms. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.